welcome back. Thank you so much for staying tuned. You're listening to 910 AM Superstation, the voice of Detroit. I'm Karen Dumas, and this is The Pulse. We are broadcasting live at the private grand opening reception of the End at 97 Winder. Got some amazing groups of people here, individuals, kind of eclectic mix, representative of what we all hope Detroit to be. Had the opportunity to see a pretty good film project today, and I didn't think I was going to really watch it. I said, okay, let me just kind of do my little due diligence, but it brought me in. And joining me now to talk about that is Paris A. Jones from Paris Films, an executive producer and actor, as well as Andre J. Ray. He is director of Elevated, what was it?
Remedies.
Remedies. All right, Elevated Remedies. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
All right, so first tell us who you are.
Oh, I'm Paris Jones, actor, producer.
Yeah. I'm Andre Ray. We got Paris Films. I mean, we're a local film company. We've been at it for 4 or 5 years now and producing and building our way up to bigger and bigger projects and hoping to continue the trend and where it's going.
So what's the landscape like now for local or independent filmmakers?
It's tough. I mean, 3 years ago there was a big productions happening here, and then, stuff was taken away.
Does the film credits have anything to do with that?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just asking. I mean, I used to be on the commission, but I was out there. We had them there.
We're going to keep it low key. We're going to just keep it low key.
Okay.
Right
We won't tell anybody, Paris.
Yeah. So as far as now and what's going on, I mean, being independent, you really have to be independent and create your own projects.
So what kind of stories need to be told, or that Paris Films is committed to telling?
Just character-driven, real-life stories that people could, connect to. That's why we wanted to do it. Like I said, me being an actor, Dre being a writer-director, I just felt like, some of the stuff that I was going out for as an actor, I didn't, like the stuff that I was going out for. I didn't like half of the stuff that I was seeing on television. So I said, you know what? We got to create our own opportunity so you could be seen in the light you want to be, seen as, and to tell the, the stories that you want to be told. I mean, we grew up in different situations, great, same kind of situations, and we've seen some real things, and we just feel like it's not being shown out there.
Now, when you're saying it's not being shown, are you talking in general, or are you talking specifically to the African-American market in terms of the kinds of roles that you were going after, and what you don't like seeing on television and in the movies?
Yeah, I would say for sure I didn't like what I was going out for as far as the content and me as an actor, the typecast that I was put in.
So you didn't really want to play a pimp or anything? That
no,
wasn't quite
no
okay.
pimp,
Right.
No gangster, no wild.
Well, gee, Paris,
crazy
you got to be so demanding. But no, I mean, certainly, and that's true. What was it? What was the movie? God, I can't think of it. The guy that talked about him. He went to work at the post office. Oh God.
A Poetic Justice.
No. What was the name of that? I can't think of. Oh God.
How recent? I don't know.
Yeah, I forgot.
No,
Wait a minute. I forgot who I was talking to. You guys are young. Okay, never mind. Forget it. It'll come to me in a second. But we are talking right now to Paris A. Jones from Paris Films, and also an executive producer and actor, as well as Andre J. Ray is a director, and they are with Paris Films. They are. I don't want to call you local. I'm going to call you independent filmmakers. Yes. So, what kind of stories do you think are untold, Andre? Paris said he didn't like the roles that he was going after and what he saw in terms of content. What kind of stories do you think need to be told that aren't being told?
I think one thing me and Paris talk about a lot is mental health in the community in general, and how it's portrayed and how some of the outcomes are portrayed. But I think there was more specific creative outlets. There was obviously things happening in the community, but there was also just as a artist, as a creative, things I wanted to do regardless of race, regardless of everything else, and sort of have my own voice. People will come and, oh, you're a filmmaker, you're gonna be Spike Lee. It's like, no, I want to be Andre.
and that's a good thing too.
Yeah. So from Ava DuVernay and Ryan Coogler. And all the other filmmakers sort of making things happen nowadays and telling stories that really matter from our perspective. I think whether it's in film or even you see companies starting to realize it within business. They're saying, oh, wait a minute, we have a board and we have a company and a thing of all, sort of older white guys. Maybe we just need other perspectives so that we understand,
so you don't end up like
trends
Pepsi,
a little bit better.
Like Pepsi.
What's that?
You don't end up like Pepsi.
I mean, how does something as big and sort of you would think something like Pepsi with all the money they have, with the sort of analytics and intelligence that they can run, would come out with better ads and better decisions about what to
But
do.
it's not, it's just like you just said, Andre. It's not about that. It's people ask and engage people that they know or that they're comfortable with. And if you have a
Simple.
small circle, then that's who it's with. We've got a caller on the line as we continue our conversation with Paris Jones and Andre Ray, executive director. Go right ahead, Al.
Oh yeah, I was just calling. The movie you're talking about is Hollywood Shuffle.
That's it, Hollywood Shuffle. Thank you, Al. Yeah, that's the
Thank you
movie.
so
Al,
much.
Shuffle,
That's what I was
yes. That's all I
talking.
wanted.
Thank
Okay.
you. You know what? You guys always come through for me, Al. Thank
Hollywood
you so
Shuffle,
very much. I
classic,
appreciate it.
classic,
That's what I'm saying.
classic.
It is classic, but it's still and we're still. You're according to you, we're still in that situation and
Oh,
telling
well,
that same story.
100%.
Thank you, Al. I appreciate that. So my
Al,
my
thank
listeners,
you.
my listeners,
Al.
come-
You're
my listeners
You're the
come
man,
through
Al.
for me.
They're on it.
Thank you. Yeah, my mind was somewhere else. You said.
So tell me about your training as an actor.
Oh, my training as an actor. Born and raised in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
I went to a junior high school that had, it's called IS 44.
Mm-hmm.
That had I had to take all 4 electives. I had to take dance, art, acting, and singing. 7th grade, we got to pick which one we wanted to go to. Of course, I picked drama. And of course, I just fell in love with it. So I did 7th and 8th grade there. And then I had to audition to get into my high school. So I auditioned for a school called Talent Unlimited.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a phenomenal experience.
Well, when you said you grew up in New York, I was like, okay, that's it. I mean, everybody in New York is in some form of entertainment or drama. What about you, Andre? And that's a good thing, though. I mean, I think it's a good thing. What about you?
Yeah, so I jumped around a lot after high school.
Are you a native? Are you from
Yes,
here?
I'm from here. Yeah.
Oh, you're from Detroit?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm from Detroit.
All right.
Yeah, and I left. I went to Nashville for a year to do film at an art school. Came back and went to a film institute here called the Motion Picture Institute,
Mm-hmm.
a local institute, and then eventually found my way to the University of Michigan and just finished there at the University of Michigan now. And there's a look. What's this look here?
Whatever.
Are you going green over there?
Going?
She said I went
Let's
there.
keep the
I went-
conversation positive, Andre. So let's continue to go.
Get crazy. It was about to get wild.
You got Ari happy, but other than that, keep going.
So yeah, after during the University of Michigan, during me and Paris met at MPI. He came and auditioned barely. He wasn't gonna come. He wasn't gonna come, and he eventually came. So anyway, from
that's
Nashville to here, to University of Michigan, and throughout the entire time, I knew I wanted to sort of be an entrepreneur, make my own thing happen. Paris came along and he said, "Hey, I'm ready to make a company and make this company happen. And I'm tired of what I see on the screen." And it wasn't just particularly the stories. I mean,
But
it was
real
also.
quick, I'm just jumping in because I auditioned for this guy's film, and he was, like I said, a student there, and he was 18 at the time. And I'm like, when I got the script from a local friend, as far as she was a casting director that was helping out the school, and she told me, "Hey, I got a script for you," and I was like, "I'm done with doing student films. I'm done with that stuff." But she sent me this script and was like, "I think this would be great for you." And then when I got the script, I'm like, "Wait a second, the 18-year-old kid wrote this?"
So what was the script for? Which
This one was called Foggy Relations, and you can actually.
I saw that. I started to pull it up, but I didn't have time to watch it. I had to get down here, but I'm going to watch that.
So Foggy Relations, you can actually watch it on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you can go on our YouTube page, which is Paris Films. You could just type in actually Foggy Relations, and it would come up. But this kid wrote it. I don't want to give any details on it. It's a short film, but I said there's no way an 18-year-old kid is writing.
See, you
this
shouldn't
kind of
say
story.
that. I mean, talent comes in.
I know,
all
no, I
ages.
know.
That's why we are where we are, because there's like, oh, they
Yes.
can't do that. Yes, yeah, you can.
Totally.
Like Elevated Remedies. I watched that today. I mean, I was really taken in. Like I said, I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to watch this. So I'll know what I'm talking about. And I found myself. I was like, oh wow, I'm watching this. Kind of reminded me of almost a little bit of Crash, a little bit of a mixture of several things. Tell me about it and where that came from for you, Andre.
Yeah. So Elevated Remedies, it came about actually more situational than the story. We knew we wanted to create a piece with 2 actors. We knew that Paris and Mark was coming in town from LA. He's the other actor, and we knew we wanted to create a film for both of them. And then the situation.
You did okay too. You're pretty good.
Oh,
but that's
thank
another
you. I
story. Go ahead.
appreciate
We don't want
I
to give him too.
appreciate
We don't
it.
gas him
Real
up too
quick though,
much.
before Drake goes back, I do have to give my institute, my school that I went to, Lee Strasberg Theater Institute.
Okay.
So I got to give them a big shout out.
Then go right ahead.
Yeah, shout out to
Okay.
Lee Strasberg Theater Institute. There we go.
The situation for Elevated Remedies came up. I'll give away the opening. In the opening, a man is prepared to shoot himself. He has a gun in his mouth. And then he hears a noise outside of the window, and he realizes that somebody is about to jump off the building of the parking structure that he's on. He pulls the gun out of his mouth, and his instincts kick in, and he helps this person from jumping off the roof. And that's where the story starts. And once we came up with that story, I said, wait, this is great. Like, this was magic. Like, this is an amazing situation. There's real issues going on right here. This is suicide. But also, we're talking about Mark and Paris. Paris just gave you his background in acting. When you write two characters and you write them for great actors, what they can do to take it to the next level is just astonishing to me, to just sit and watch and give notes and to see where they take it. So to have that situation when we knew we were dealing with a real issue, but it was also entertaining. It grips you from the moment you start. Like, you see this guy with the gun in his mouth and you see this guy going to jump, and it just grips you from the start. I knew it was a project